between the ages of 25 and 34. The spread of HIV/AIDS is the single greatest health crisis currently confronting African Americans.
Join the Cathedral Praise Church of Memphis Incorporated each Sunday at 12:30 p.m. for our Spirit-filled worship service and each Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. for our Bible study. You do not want to miss these power-packed services. We are a church for all people, and we welcome you as we transform the Memphis culture. The church is located inside Bunn Presbyterian Church at 561 South Prescott Street, Memphis, Tennessee. I'm Dr. Darnell Goose Jr., Senior Pastor of the Cathedral Praise Church of Memphis Incorporated, and I hope to see you there.
This is the city. This is their story. Some names have been changed, and so many lives have been changed too. They're going to give you the facts, just the facts. Some call this a city of crime. When they're done, it's going to be the city that cares a lot. This is the city, Memphis, Tennessee, where fearless, inspired, on-fired, hungry rabble of revolutionaries has transformed hearts and minds. Not with weapons, but with their own brand of compassion, integrity, and hard work. All they're asking is for you to join their movement. It's easy to join with a donation of $20, $50, or $100. And it's all for the nonprofit organization Relationships Unleashed. With this donation, you will help enhance the 3 core principles of education, empowerment, and enrichment to the LGBTQ community and its allies. Go to www.relationshipunleashed.com on the World Wide Web, relationshipunleashed.com. All donations are tax deductible. Come on, join the movement. By the way, I don't need a badge or a gun. I carry a microphone, bub.
And we're back. This is the live show on KWAM 900 Talk Radio. This is the Only Voice Radio Show. We educate, empower, enrich the community. And we bumping that new Drake, and I am loud as crap in here. Turn me down. Perfect. Right. Turn me up a little bit. Right there. Perfect. And we're back. So
you can take me back down. For some reason, it keeps going up.
Oh.
Okay, that's better.
We're in here with Dr. Sarah Wallett, the new medical director at the Planned Parenthood of Tennessee and North Mississippi. I got it. I got it. So let's jump into this conversation, Doc. Let's talk about these myths about comprehensive reproductive health care.
No, it's so it's a man for you, right?
It's okay. We'll cut him some slack.
Okay, we'll cut you a little slack.
Well, James Brown said it.
So today we have in the studio Dr. Wallett, and we're going to talk about services offered at Planned Parenthood. We're going to debunk some myths today about Planned Parenthood and get a little history about the organization, and then we're going to wrap it up with how we really need to be concerned with this next appointee on the Supreme Court, because for some reason they want to dismantle Roe versus Wade. Mm-hmm. And so we need to make people understand that the things that you hear in the media is not true, and that's why we have a representative from the organization here today to help clear up some things. And so we want to give the mic to her, and let's just dive into this thing. Like, let's want to do debunk myths first, right?
Sure, let's do it.
So one of the tricks of the media is that they will have the public think that the only reason that Planned Parenthood exists is to perform abortions.
That is a very common myth. Now, we do perform abortions, and that is a very essential health service for women to have access to in our community. But we also provide a lot of other services as well. We provide comprehensive reproductive health care for both men and women, and for people who don't fit into that binary of men and women.
So when you say binary, mm-hmm. What, for our listeners that may not understand the language, what exactly do you mean when you say binary?
Absolutely. So gender identity, although we're often in the world made to think of it as male and female, there are many people in our community who don't identify specifically as male or female. And may identify as one or the other or in between or a moving target. And that is often not something that is very well understood, even in the medical community. And so individuals who fall on that spectrum, other than what we're traditionally thought to think, often don't feel safe and comfortable seeking out healthcare.
I like that. I like that.
So I had no idea about the services for men. So what can I get if I would like to? Would you stop?
Trying to fix my so she
You are so hood. We have guests in the studio.
I need the listeners, I need the viewers to be able to see my arm is in the way.
Dr. Wallett, please excuse my mother.
That is
They
fine.
can see you now.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Well,
My goodness.
men can come into our health clinics for STD testing.
Okay.
And for STD treatment.
Mm-hmm.
They can come in with concerns about their sexual health.
Mm-hmm.
We also see men for PrEP and PEP.
Okay.
So HIV prevention, and we can dive into that if you are interested.
Mm-hmm.
We offer free HIV tests for everyone in the community, including men.
Okay.
And in our health centers in Nashville and Knoxville, we also offer hormone therapy for transgender patients.
Okay.
And we're hoping soon to offer that as well here in Memphis.
Oh.
One of the benefits of our merger is now we have these experts that are part of our organization who have been providing these services in other parts of Tennessee for quite a while, who are going to help us get things started here in Memphis.
It's really sad that we're always 30 years behind here in Memphis, Tennessee. You didn't say it, I said it.
Yeah, well, we're working on not being 30 years behind.
Okay.
I don't think we're 30 years behind. I think it's the opposition to be able to enter into those areas and to offer those types of services, because it's really untraditional.
It is. It's untraditional, I think, for the community. It's untraditional even sometimes for people who work in healthcare. These are maybe things that they didn't grow up hearing about. Their church community said something completely different to them than to what now we're expecting and advocating for. And so it's a big learning curve.
So what about this myth about the government funding Planned Parenthood?
Defunding. Or
Defunding,
Yeah.
the funding.
Well, let me be clear. The government does not fund Planned Parenthood.
Thank you. Gosh.
Yes. So Planned Parenthood, like any other doctor's office or hospital, gets reimbursed for services that we provide for patients who use government insurance programs. For us, most typically, that's Medicaid.
Okay.
So what defunding means is that it would block patients who use public programs like Medicaid from being able to come to Planned Parenthood for services.
Got it.
So no money, there's no line item for Planned Parenthood on any, government budget.
Okay.
I get reimbursed if I provide health care for a patient on Medicaid for the services I provide like any other doctor.
Well, see, that's how the media misleads the public.
Right.
Because they have this big caption, defund Planned Parenthood. And then you see these commercials come across. And then they use deceptive tactics because they will get a woman to speak out and, to talk and as if she's speaking for our women. So that's some of the deceptive tactics that they use. And it's so important for you as a consumer or a voter or in the public to become educated on your own. Investigate. Visit these places.
And I don't know if you guys are aware, but in Tennessee, there's an Amendment 36. So in Tennessee, there's a plan that would create a waiver to TennCare, and that would specifically, to use that language of defunding, the goal is to defund Planned Parenthood here in Tennessee. But in reality, what that would mean is it would cut off access to women and men in the community who wanted to use our services. They could no longer come and use their insurance. And that's, I think, something that's really scary to think about. We see many patients in the community that don't have a lot of options for care.
Absolutely. So just if you know, you can make a wild guess. The patients that come in, are they predominantly low income or that don't have access to affordable health care or insurance through employment? And I know you do a lot of prenatal care, for women that come in.
Yeah, well, we actually don't do prenatal care.
Okay.
We do refer women out for prenatal care. We do a lot of pregnancy testing and talking to people about their options, and then we refer out for prenatal care.
Okay.
We see a wide mix of patients. I think about 30% of our patients are on Medicaid.
Okay.
We also see some commercially insured patients, and we've worked really hard. And on our commercial, I think they just talked about how we accept most insurance plans. So we've worked really hard at that. And then we also see a lot of patients who aren't insured. So we see a lot of self-pay patients coming in needing services.
So what's the percentage of Americans or Tennesseans, Mississippians, whoever that supports Planned Parenthood?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there was a recent study by the Kaiser Family Foundation, and this was a U.S. study, so I don't know exactly in Tennessee, but 75% of Americans support Planned Parenthood and would oppose blocking Medicaid patients from being able to see providers at Planned Parenthood.
Wow.
So we have, although it doesn't seem like that, the way that the media spins it, we have a lot of support. We have a lot of support here in the Memphis community.
What I find most striking out of the conversation is that our Senate and Congress is comprised of 80% men, and they are the ones they're making the decision.
Old white men.
To pass this law and to also want to invoke male patriotism over a female and what she should and shouldn't do and what's best for a woman.
Yes, I find that very frustrating.
Yes.
I believe that every woman has the right to make these decisions for themselves. Every woman and man, every person has the right. I like it.
Thank you.
Has the right, to sexual gratification and to parenting when and if and with whom they decide, and that no one else but that individual should have that ability to decide it. And the goal of Planned Parenthood is to make sure that that is possible and that we can support people in those ways. Those things are fundamentally important to how we live our lives.
Yes, they are.
Okay, so it's 5:30. We got to take our last break, Doc. We're going to stop right there with that fundamental support that you should have for yourself and not from these old nasty white men in Congress and the House of Representatives and the Senate.
Why they gotta be nasty?
Hey, I'm nasty. So anyways, this is the live show on KWAM 9 Talk Radio. What's the guy name with the rooster neck? What's his name? Rooster neck. The man with the rooster neck in the Senate. He's
McConnell.
Yeah, McConnell, rooster neck. This is the live show KWAM 9 Talk Radio where we talk about rooster neck. We'll be right back after this powerful.
Join the Cathedral Praise Church of Memphis Incorporated each Sunday at 12:30 p.m. for our Spirit-filled worship service and each Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. for our Bible study. You do not want to miss these power-packed services. We are a church for all people, and we welcome you as we transform the Memphis culture. The church is located inside Bunn Presbyterian Church at 561 South Prescott Street, Memphis, Tennessee. I'm Dr. Darnell Gooch Jr., Senior Pastor of the Cathedral Praise Church of Memphis Incorporated, and I hope to see you there.
Go get tested for HIV/AIDS because HIV/AIDS has become the third leading cause of death among African Americans between the ages of 25 and 34. Even more surprising is the fact that this disease has become the leading cause of death for African American women between the ages of 25 and 34. The spread of HIV/AIDS is the single greatest health crisis currently confronting African Americans.
This is the city. This is their story. Some names have been changed, and so many lives have been changed too. They're going to give you the facts, just the facts. Some call this a city of crime. When they're done, it's going to be the city that cares a lot. This is the city, Memphis, Tennessee, where fearless, inspired, unfired, hungry rabble of revolutionaries has transformed hearts and minds, not with weapons, but with their own brand of compassion, integrity, and hard work. All they're asking is for you to join their movement. It's easy to join with a donation of $20, $50, or $100. And It's all for the nonprofit organization Relationships Unleashed. With this donation, you will help enhance the 3 core principles of education, empowerment, and enrichment to the LGBTQ community and its allies. Go to www.relationshipunleashed.com on the World Wide Web.